watching, and happy Friday. Today on our segment, we'll be focusing about how calcium plays an important role on Earth and in our daily lives. We'll also be talking about the Grammy Award ceremony that happened this evening, and who won the Grammy Award for Best Rapper. Now we turn to Josh Damon, live in California, to give us more information about calcium.
Thank you, Alex. Today we're going to start off by talking about calcium. Calcium can be found in many things in your home refrigerator. For example, milk. Calcium has an atomic number of 20 because it has 20 protons in the nucleus. Also, calcium has an atomic mass of 40 because it has 20 protons and 20 neutrons, which equal 40, which make up its mass number. Also, calcium is found in the second column of the periodic table, also known as the alkaline earth metal family. Also, calcium has a higher density than the elements below it, but has a lower density than the elements above it. This causes calcium to have a lower density. A lower density for an element means it has a higher reactivity. Also, on the right side of the periodic table are the gases, or the noble gas families. In the middle, these are called the nonmetals. And on the left side, where, for example, calcium, they are metals. Since calcium is a metal on the periodic table, it's a solid at room temperature, which also means it has a higher reactivity. Also, since calcium is in the second family, or the alkaline earth metal family, it has 2 valence electrons. That's why in the first shell of calcium, it has 2 valence electrons. Valence electrons can also be used to make ionic bonds. Calcium has 2 valence electrons and oxygen has 6. So calcium wants to lose those 2 valence electrons to get to 0, and oxygen wants to gain 2 electrons to get to 8. So calcium would have a charge of positive 2, and oxygen would have a charge of negative 2, because calcium is losing 2 valence electrons, and oxygen is gaining 2 valence electrons. As they say, opposites do attract. This will leave calcium's shells empty, and oxygen shells fully full. Conclude this segment by saying this. Let me start by saying this. Calcium's atomic number is 20 because it has 20 protons in the nucleus, but calcium also has 20 neutrons and electrons. The number of electrons is also the atomic mass because it has 20 electrons in an atom. As you can see in the first shell, calcium has 2 electrons. The second shell, it has 8. The third shell, it has 8, and the last shell, it has 2. The 2 most outer electrons in the fourth shell are also known as the valence electrons, and the valence electrons can make ionic bonds, as displayed in the video before this. Calcium was discovered in 1808, and has helped make many things like roads in today's society, which are our main way of transportation in the U.S. Also, calcium helped make chalk, which was essential to learning in the 1900s. Calcium also makes milk, but at the same time makes yogurt. Both of these give us nutrients to make the body healthy. Calcium also makes bones strong and healthy and helps them grow. At the same time, calcium helps make teeth and keep them strong. Calcium has a high boiling point, which also makes it have a higher reactivity. This also causes calcium to have a lower density. Calcium's low density, high reactivity, and high boiling point all play a role in allowing calcium to be a reducing agent. One of the compounds calcium makes as a reducing agent is calcium chloride.
Well, thank you, Josh. We'll be moving on to our next segment on CNN. But before we do, I'd like to explain something that Josh forgot to mention in his video. Now, can you pull it up on the screen, please? Thank you. Well, calcium 40 has a mass number of 40 because that's the number of 20 protons and neutrons in its nucleus. But on calcium, on the periodic table, calcium has a mass number of 40.078. This is because on the periodic table, calcium is the median of all the calcium isotopes. So the median isotope of all the calciums would be 40.078. Thank you. Now, we turn back to Alfredo, live in the Bay Area. Our next coverage on CNN, we now turn to Alfredo Morales, live in the Bay Area, to talk more about the Grammy Awards that happened this evening.
Thank you, Alex. The Grammy Awards ceremony today was very interesting. The rapper from LA, Brendon, won the Grammy for Best Rapper, and we will be heading on to one of his clips right now.
My rapper name is B-Dog, and you're about to get the J Swizzle Dog in me. Got to get calcium in your body, can't get enough, and that's what you need. If you do what it takes, your bone will not break, yeah. Calcium's atomic number is 20. Yo, get me some milk, cheese, and yogurt, please. These all have calcium, and that's what you need. Calcium, calcium, calcium makes you strong. And symptoms make your hair grow long. That's what you need, to be on your feet, yeah. Calcium 40 is an isotope, and if you don't know that, you should just go cry home. Just look in the science book. It's colored in blue. You see it next to the alkaline earth metals too. Out. B-Dog.
And that's it for today's segment. See you next time on CNN News.